So we open with a new character who's apparently trash and about to get that butt beat. They about to beat that butt. They're gonna whoop, they're gonna kick, they're gonna beat that butt. You can't curse in the first 30 seconds of the video. That's why I'm saying butt. But. Yeah, Neek is getting him for that messed up shipment because they were set up. So Neek done off this fool because he thought he squealed and dropped the dime. Nope, that was Rock. Back at the Heezy, Kanan's cooking dinner for his mom. However, she walks in with Symphony, and the mood turns cold. Kanan looking at his mama like, you really brought your boy toy to dinner? Let your mama get some. Hell, he cute. So Symphony is really trying and Kanan ain't saying nothing. Kanan is mad at his mama. Back with the baby lesbians, they're enjoying the little tape that they made at the mall today. So they get to wrestling on the bed, but then the mama come in and she's like, girls, what's going on in here? And they, of course, jump to opposite sides of the bed. And the parents see the tape. Then the dad come in and he say, oh, this is better than any of the shit I heard on the radio. And the mom says, watch your mouth with the girls. And he says, oh, I know Laverne's heard worse. Oh, the microaggressions of the 80s. Oh, yeah, I couldn't have done it. I'm glad I was 2. And from a lesbian moment to a skank, now we have that white heifer sleeping with the brother. Do we need all these sex scenes? Really? We could just do a post-coitus tea and get the point. So she wants to cut, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna leave. I don't know what type of black guys you dated, but we don't cuddle. Well, I'm like, well, how many black guys have you dated that don't cuddle? Oh, we see this heifer's true colors. She gonna let the dog go hungry, but she gonna eat. She said, I ran out of food yesterday. And that means you go get food yesterday because you ate yesterday. Oh, yeah, you better take that dog. That heifer really thought she was in a relationship. Meanwhile, back with Neek, there's not going to be any re-up until the heat's off. Neek, you going off the rails. Everyone here is suspect. Eddie, you could end up like Trey. Okay, then somebody gonna pop you because they realize you losing it and you ain't got no connect. So Neek says, look, I need you to stretch this crack. And the guys are like, but if we start selling bad rock, they're not gonna come back. He said, look, we've gotta make this money and then we'll be all the way up again. So stretch that product as much as you can. So now Neek thinks that it's rock and he gonna get her back. But he don't know if it's gonna be a body or a headshot. Back at the house, Rock is getting Kanan together for his grade slip and says you're leaving the stash house for an after-school class. Across town with Diddy's son, we've got Famous on the mic. So Diddy's son say, look, I'm going to get Famous in the room at a showcase because you know it's all about a showcase and we going to see what happens if we could get the track in the right place before the showcase. But then Famous' sister boyfriend, the other brother, come in and he see her hugging on Diddy's son and he's like, let me talk to you outside. And she's like, look, I'm just trying to put my brother on. What you trying to do? Because I ain't got time to wait for you. Back with Kanan, we see he's having a moment with Davinia and kisses her on the cheek. However, Neek sees this. So Neek goes up to Davinia and says, look, I'll get your mom clean, but I need some information about KK. She says, well, he ain't have nothing to do with Buck's death, but I did see him outside this house one time. Now, will Rock be able to get her stuff out of the stash house in the nick of time? Back with Famous, he's trying to get her in front of Diddy's son so that she can be on the showcase too. So the brother goes to get this other guy to move stuff from the stash house and he is sick. He said, my bussy is leaking. I'll see you later. So now the brother goes to Kanan and is like, look, we got to move stuff out the stash house. And he's like, Mom told me not to go over there. He said, oh, it'll be 10 minutes. She won't know. So Jukebox goes to the other uncle and she says, look, why is Famous getting free studio time and not me? You know this guy, just ask him for a favor. And he said, look, favors is just a way to be controlled. I ain't pulling it. So we got Neek casing the stash house. Meanwhile, Jukebox is trying to get some suicide jackets so she can pay for her studio time, but doesn't have any of her team with her. So I think she might get pinched. So Juke jicked the jacket and run, and right when she thinks she's free, a security guard grab her, and he's like, I know you. And she's the one who stopped him from getting killed by that other guy. So he's like, look, I'm gonna let you go, but we're even now. We're even. I was like, okay, all right. Back at the stash house, we're packing up the joint while Neek is watching everything. At the stash house, the uncle leaves Kanan alone while he goes to drop off some of the drugs and tells him to finish up. Back with the baby Les's, Jukebox gives the coat to the white girl and explains to her about Ralph Lauren being from nothing, and it was all about creating a life that he wanted. So as the baby Les's get to their first coitus, we hear a boom at the stash house, and Kanan is under attack. Meanwhile, the uncle pull up and see the two goons loading up his product in the van. You better pop 'em, pop 'em, pop 'em, pop 'em. So he drive up and ram his Mercedes into their van, and they fire back. He firing at them, but they drive away with their shit. With their shit. So the uncle go in and kill the guy that's holding Kanan hostage. And then he's like, look, we got to get you home and cleaned up, and your mama will not know you was here. But they took half our shit. So Kanan's able to clean himself up, and his mom takes him to class, and she asks him to give Symphony a chance. And he's like, okay, he's different. Sometimes different's good. Maybe it'll get you out that hood. Now what the hell? So Kanan walk into class and Symphony teaching. Rock, what are you doing? While Kanan's in class, Rock is getting the laundry together, and she finds the bloody shirt under his bed. Well, let's get to episode 5. So we open with Rock telling Kanan, I found that bloody shirt under your bed. Was waiting for you to say something, but I guess you didn't. He say he was going to pick up some money he was owed, and that's how he ended up at the stash house, since the mama said, I know you was there. Your uncle told me what happened. He just didn't say you were there. But he gonna say, I was just trying to help out my uncle. And she's like, you don't help me with the dishes. You a helping ass man now. Oh, okay. Boy, please. So now we got Omar Epps and the white heifer looking at the scene of the crime at the stash house, noticing Kanan's vomit. Now we've got Rock confronting her brother about not telling her that Kanan was present. So Rock gets on him for a minute, but she's like, look, I ain't even got time to deal with you right now, but I need you to stop messing everything up. Back in class, we see Kanan and Symphony are getting along, and Kanan actually enjoyed it. So now the two brothers get to arguing. The younger brother said, look, if you hadn't been messing up, you wouldn't have done that bidding Elmira. I got set up. He said, no, you did it to yourself, and now you're going to do it to us. I ain't going to jail or getting killed over you, fool. Lord, so then they get to talk about who slept with whose girl, and they get to scrapping in the street. So the older brother got the younger brother on the ground, but the police drive by and say, hey, break it up. Y'all gonna get arrested with this foolishness. At the doctor's, we find out Omar Epps' family wasn't a match, so they're gonna have to see if they could get something from the Bone Marrow Donene Center. But it ain't looking good. Meanwhile, across town at Rock's Bodega, we have Jukebox, Kanan, and Famous. And Jukebox is saying, well, I know about women. I know how to make someone feel good and how to feel good myself. I've been with somebody. And Famous is like, who? Are you going to come out? Famous thought he was going to be Jukebox's first. Jukebox says, let's be honest, that was never going to happen. So as Famous tries to find out who Juke was with, Juke says, I think it was Davina that ratted out the stash house. Kanan, however, thinks it was Scrappy because he was sick and then happened to come back to work with new Jordans on the same day they got hit. Child, Kanan said, look, I know your secrets, Juke, since you want to say you got family secrets, so I suggest you watch your mouth. So now Kanan and Juke is mad at each other. Meanwhile, Rock moves forward with her plans to get her apartments in the project, one above and one below. I wonder what she's gonna do with the one below. She gonna put a hole in the floor? Make it a two-story joker? So the guy who owns the apartment comes in or is leasing it, and he's like, what are y'all doing here? I'm not moving. I'm not leaving. Child, she have Marvin give him a quick little bop, bop, bop. And then she tell him to leave, and she walk over. She's like, you know who I am? He's like, yeah, I think I know who you is. Well, if you knew who she was, why'd you have to get your butt beat? I'd be just trying to get my coin. She's like, look, I'm going to pay you or you going to die, but either which way, you will go. Back with Famous and Baby Les 1, he invites her to the studio because there's going to be a producer there. He says, come on, girl, get on the mic. Back at the Heezy, Kanan still wants to be a more active part of the business. And since he can't get a corner, he says, well, how about I learn how to cook up some crack like Martha Stewart? I want to be on my Julia Child. And now we add the baking soda. However, back with Omar Epps, he's tailing Rock and sees her drop Kanan off at the arcade, but then sees as soon as she drops him off, Kanan run out. He wants to know what he's up to, because sometimes to get to the queen, you got to go through the prince. And Kanan was going to see the guy that worked in the stash house that he suspects gave it up. So child, Kanan accused him, and he like, look, you need to go run some errands for your mama, get to homeroom, get that milk off your breath, because you a little boy playing a man's game. And child, Kanan said, all right, I'm going to throw them hands with a bop, bop, bop. So Omar Epps and his partner see the fight, let them wear themselves out, and then arrest him. Rock gonna have to kill this bodega owner because he keep begging for more. So Kanan called Symphony to pick him up from the popo. Why, Sylph? Okay, something seems to be going on with Kanan's birthday. Maybe there's not a way that Def Con is his pappy. Back at the studio, apparently Diddy's son is doing business just as good as Diddy. His backup singers won't come and sing on the hook, and his engineer said, and I haven't seen a check in a few weeks either, in front of everybody. So Kanan don't want Symphony to tell his mama, and he like, I don't know, that's a sticky situation. He's like, I'm gonna get locked up, you won't even see me in class. Of course, Scrap called Rock and tell her, your son tried to whoop my ass. Oh, but after the great track recording, the baby Leses are celebrating and the mama walk in. She sees them kissing and starts screaming, get out, you're repugnant, get out. You can never see my daughter again. You know that 90s gay rage shit. Back at the Heezy, Rock is giving Kanan a crack cooking lesson. So Rock has apparently sent the guy that was at the stash house that Kanan almost beat up to be a spy with Neek. Oh, Lord. So as Rock is taking out the trash, Omar Epps walk up and says, Kanan 15, not 16. And that guy went away in 74, not 75. Kanan, my child, and you know it. Now, I wonder, is Kanan going to give him the bone marrow? Well, they ain't put out episode 6 yet, so that was the shit, but I'm going to see you soon for something. So tell a kid, tell a friend, tell that heifer you hate.